Alright, this video is going to show you how to do an alternator change on an Mr2 Turbo sw20 91 to 95. The tools that you need is basically 12mm gear ratchet. This is the really good tool to use. 12-14 straight ratchet, deep socket 14, deep socket 10mm, a short 12mm, and a 14 short mil, and then the gear wrench with adjustable head, 12 mil, Phillips screwdriver, a long extension, and then use one of these if you can. It's a lot easier. So what's going on was that when I start the car, when I put it on ignition, this red light stays on. So that battery light stays on only, and everything else is off. And the car was running on battery. And then right when I removed the battery, the negative cable, not remove that, the cable, the whole car shuts down. It means that the alternator is not charging the car. So the first step you're going to do is remove the negative cable. Remove these Phillips screws. Inspection cutover. Remove it. Strip bar come off. Cruise control cover come off. Remove these 3 10mm bolt. 1, 2, and one right out there. Cruise box plug. You basically unplug this and the ABS plugs. Easier to put it aside, so that way you have access to the alternator bracket. Alright, so now you removed the cruise control unit. You want to loosen this bolt right here. Get a better zooming area. Loosen that bolt right here, and then adjust this so that you push the alternator in Before you do that, you have to loosen up the bolt down there. It's a long 14mm bolt that basically tighten up the alternator. Loosen that and loosen that, and you can push this bolt here, the adjuster screw. Just push the alternator in, so that way you can loosen up the belt. So basically, you have to loosen up this foot with the 14mm socket or a wrench. Loosen that, and this is the top screw that I was talking about earlier. Loosen that, and then this is the adjuster screw right here. Well, I took it off already. Just kind of push this bracket in, so that way you loosen the belt of the alternator. All right, get a 12mm gear wrench. All right, next step, we're going to remove the B pipe, so that way it's easier to move the alternator down through here. So 3 14mm socket, the wrench 12mm up here for the exhaust hanger on the B pipe on the cross member, and then two 12mm socket bolt. new 12mm bolt. 12mm socket bolt right here. And remove the B pipe. So next part, we're gonna remove this bottom tray with the 10mm socket, 10mm socket, 10mm socket, 10mm socket, 10mm socket. Get some light in here. Alright, next up we're gonna loosen up this bolt for the alternator. This one right here. Loosen that out. And then we're gonna adjust this. We're gonna adjust this screw right here. That one right there. So that we can push the alternator in and get the belt out and then unplug the positive wire, and then the alternator will plug as well. Unplug that and unplug the inside one. Use a short socket with a long wrench ratchet. A 14mm short socket. And when you do it, be careful not to break this oil level sensor. It's kind of getting in the way with the socket. And then just loosen that, and then unplug all the plug to the alternator. $12mm gear wrench, adjustable head.
use a 12mm wrench to undo that, and then unplug this oval. Do it 2 hands. Alright, once the plugs are out, both of them. This one's a little harder, so just be careful not to break anything. It's really under tight. Loosen up that one out. The belt is already removed. And just undo that 14mm bolt. This holds the alternator in place. And then next we remove the alternator bolt on top piece, which is this piece right here. And alternate and get the belt out. Alright, the belt's removed. And just drop the alternator from the bottom. Get the alternator out from the bracket, alternator bracket. Just kind of wiggle it. It goes like that, goes down. Alright, put your new alternator back in place. The bolt to the bottom. belt. Plug it in. Positive 8mm nut for the other cable. Put the cover back on, make sure it's plugged in. And then we go on top. Alright, get this bolt back in spot. Okay, and now adjust this over here to tighten it, to tighten the belt. It's kind of hard doing it with one hand. I tighten up the 14mm socket bolt. Tighten up some more. And then all the cross member on the B pipe go back on. And what I do is I like to use anti-seize on any bolts or nuts that related to exhaust. So that way when you remove it again for something, other jobs, it'll come out a lot easier and doesn't seize up on you. Okay. Gaskets go on. Always hand tight everything first. Cross member hanger. All right, so basically everything's hand tight already. What you want to do is you want to start from the catalytic converter first, and then work your all the way around, tighten all the bolt, and then these two are the last. pipe hanger.
All right, that's it. And then go on top, we finish it up. All right, tighten everything back up. Socket. This bolt right here.
Grease. Electric grease.
ABS plug, go back in. Cruise control unit, go back in. Alright, go ahead and put the negative wire back on. Let's test it out. So before, the red battery light turns on, and right when I remove the negative cable, the whole car shuts down. Let's see if this will help. So only that light turns on when the alternator went bad. Alright, looks good. Alright, looks like everything looks good. Go ahead and put everything back. So this whole installation took me about 2 hours with making the video. Probably a lot sooner if I didn't have a camera with me. The inspection cover. Now when you put this on, see how there's the little clips right here on both sides? Make sure it goes, kind of angle it in so that we attach in place. And this one over here at this corner. So just place it on top of it, just kind of guide it in. I've seen so many MR2s with these things all bent and doesn't flush right. These don't have to be really tight, just kind of let snug. I've seen so many of these get stripped, or this little head gets round off because people over torque it up. That's it. Alright, that's pretty much it on how to swap its alternator on a sw20 second gen MR2. The 5S FE NA motor, you can actually pull the alternator from the cruise control side, because the alternator is a lot smaller. It's an 80 amp compared to these ones. These are about, I believe it's 90 to 100 amp. So it's a lot smaller, and you can actually pull from this side out. As far as the turbo goes, the turbo engine goes, you have to go from the bottom. There's basically no way around it. I've tried it many times, and you have to go from the bottom. All right, and put the X brace back on, and then that's pretty much it. If you like the video, go ahead and subscribe, and just share this video if it helps you. And smash that like button and subscribe button.